أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره أعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Respected brothers and sisters, we thank everyone. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us yet another opportunity to attend this khutbah and this Jummah to remind ourselves about the etiquettes of our deen and the importance of our deen. First and foremost, we admonish everyone. We repeat the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَقَدْ وَصَّيْنَا الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ أَنِ اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He revealed to nations, He revealed to us as He revealed to nations before us. And the only admonishment He did in that revelation is to fear Him, fear Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned, we are going to continue from the last week. He mentioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. We were on the topic of how to achieve barakah in our ibadah, in our worship. And the Quran mentioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وقال الله تعالى كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آياته وليتذكر أولو الألباب. He said, I have revealed this blessed book to you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that those who with sound mind will ponder over it, because it's a blessed book, and they will remember. So we see the word barakah came into this ayah. Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun liyadabbaru ayati. And another ayah, the barakah came in there as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, Inna awwal al-bayti wudi'a lin-nasi lalladhi bi Bakkata mubaraka hudan wa hudan lil alamin. And the it's a blessed house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how we achieve barakah in this, everything that Allah has mentioned and His Rasul, is to follow what has been revealed to us, the etiquettes and the ibadah that is attached to them. We cannot attach our own ibadah to these things. If we do, then we're not going to get the barakah that's been prescribed in this Quran and the house that Allah has built. The first house has been built for mankind. That's Makkah. And another criteria for a Muslim to achieve barakah and to have barakah from Allah, as we said earlier in our first khutbah, all the barakah itself belongs to Allah and it comes to Allah, and He gives it to whom He wills, and we can only follow where He directs us to follow. And for a Muslim to have this barakah, we follow exactly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْ أَنَّ أَهْلَ الْقُرَىٰ آمَنُوا وَاتَّقَوْا لَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَرَكَاتٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. He said, if the nations or these villages believe and be cautious, that's to have the taqwa of Allah. That's the criteria, taqwa. وَلَوْ أَنَّ أَهْلَ الْقُرَىٰ آمَنُوا وَاتَّقَوْا. You have to have the iman first, and the next thing is taqwa. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I will bring down upon them the blessing from the samawat and the earth. So that's another way to achieve barakah, to have iman and taqwa. So if you continue with the barakah in the Quran, is so many. And where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, there are many. We mentioned the Laylatul Qadr as well last week. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatin mubarakah. The night is full of barakah. We have revealed this book in the night that is full of barakah, fi laylatin mubarakah. So to achieve the barakah in that night, you have to follow what Allah tells you to follow. The ibadah in that night, and during the day, the siyam and the sadaqah, and so many other deeds as the scholars mentioned. There is no specific deed, but the most recommended is fasting in the day and qiyamul layl, tilawat al-Quran. These are one of them, but these are the main ones. Birrul walidain. You go, so on, and so many. So for us to achieve this barakah, there are so much attached to this, and we have to follow exactly what Allah and His Rasul tell us to follow. So a Muslim, as I mentioned the last ayah, is required to have taqwa, the iman first, because without iman, you can't have any benefit in this Islam. Every good deed, for us to achieve benefit and reward, the first criteria is taqwa. And the first criteria is iman and taqwa. You have to get the iman first, and then the taqwa. Because that makes you a Muslim, and then you will be qualified. You know, we hear so many people, sometimes they will say, such and such a person is a very good person. He is so helpful. He is a humanitarian. He has the less privilege, and the orphans and those who are not well to do. But all that, no matter how much they spend or what effort they put in there, will not benefit them in Akhirah. They might have the benefit in dunya, because Allah is just. He will give them what they deserve in this dunya, but Akhirah, only iman and taqwa. Those are the people who are going to benefit in Akhirah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His rahmah in Akhirah is for the mu'min, the Muslims who die with iman in Akhirah. Inna rahmatallahi qareebun min al-muhsinin. So for us to acquire this benefit, these are the requirements. And a Muslim, as I mentioned, will have this benefit with taqwa. And the taqwa we need to put in ourselves outwardly and inwardly. At-taqwa wa murabakatuhu fi sirri wal alam. The fear of Allah and the obedience and the ibadah and the istighfar and tawbah, if you follow it, it's so many. These are the lessons we have to follow from teachings of the Quran and Sunnah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His ni'mah, and as Muslims we should always be thankful to Allah for giving us this ni'mah. If you look around us, we look throughout the world, the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed on us, those who are able to attend Jummah, that is something we have to be thankful and grateful continuously. The blessings are so many, and it's another blessing of Allah even to realize that, because how many people out there have so much blessings but they don't realize it. So it's tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to even realize that He blessed you and to thank Him for those blessings. We see our brothers all over the world, what they are going through, their families. We have our families who are safe. May Allah keep us safe and the rest of the Ummah. But these are things that sometimes we don't look into, but it's worth to remember all the time. We continue to make dua for them, our utmost, for Allah to give them, to recover them from these calamities, because the calamities of this world, whoever has gone through it, there is great benefit in Akhirah. Because those who haven't gone through calamities in Yom Al-Qiyam, they will regret why they haven't gone through calamities when they see the reward of those who have gone through calamities, what they achieve in Akhirah. So we always thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessings, and we remember our brothers and sisters all over the world. As I mentioned from the last point, kathratu istighfar, to do abundance of istighfar, is another form of achieving blessings of Allah. In Surah Nuh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدُكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. If we do istighfar, we do tawbah and istighfar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us everything, because that ayah didn't leave anything out. When it comes to wealth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bestow you wealth. When it comes to children, Allah ta'ala will bestow you children. And what is this dunya? Al-mal wal-bani. Al-mal wal-banu. Zinatul hayatul dunya. That's all what we strive for. Wealth and children. Wealth and children. But this ayah include wealth and children. And everything else you want. When you do istighfar, that's the proof. You will have this barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the blessings that is mentioned in this ayah. So, kasratu istighfar, that's another way of acquiring these blessings, the barakah. And the other one is al-birru wasilatul arham, doing good and maintaining ties of kinship. That also will earn you barakah. Maintaining ties of kinship, Rasulullah he mentioned, whoever wants his wealth and his age to increase, let him keep the ties of kinship. They maintain the ties of kinship. And maintaining the ties of kinship is not waiting for somebody to do for you the good, for you to return that good. No. You are not maintaining the ties of kinship. You are doing equally what he has done for you. Those who maintain the ties of kinship, as the scholars elaborate in this ayah and comment, is the one who cut the ties of kinship and you do your best to maintain it. The family who didn't visit you, you swallow your pride, you go and visit him. And the family who didn't benefit you, when you have it, you benefit them. Even if you don't have it, the good words is sadaqah. Kalimatu tayyiba sadaqah. That's what Rasul mentioned. Even a good word will become sadaqah for you. So another form of achieving this blessing is al-birru wal silatul arham. And the next one is tilawat al-Quran, reading the Quran. And as I mentioned from the beginning of the Khutbah, the ayah that mentioned kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun liyadabbaru ayati wa liyatadhakkaru ulul albab. So tilawat al-Quran will earn you the barakah from the Quran, and with the right intention and the right method, as Rasul said, not to join together as we see sometimes people do. And we are in these things, we lay our eyes on it now and then, all the time. That's not the purpose of the Quran. When somebody passes away, people gather to read the Quran. Or in the graveyard, they read the Quran. No. There is method for doing everything in this day. As the method we follow, Khairul Hadi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's the only method that will earn you the reward and the benefit in akhirah. So tilawat al-Quran, that's another method. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Iqra'u al-Quran fa innahu ya'ti yawm al-qiyamati shafi'an li ashabi." He said, read the Quran, because yawm al-qiyam, the Quran will come as an intercessor to intercede for you. And the intercession of the Quran will never be returned. So tilawat al-Quran will earn you barakah in this life and in akhirah. Because even having the Quran as an intercessor is enough. But the Quran in Yawm al-Qiyam is either the Quran is for you or against you. Who will want the Quran to go against you in the Yawm al-Qiyam? Because the Quran will testify before Allah and tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so and so was not reading me in dunya. He didn't have time for me in dunya. Nobody will want that. And the other person, the Quran will testify for him that he used to read it in dunya. And the most important thing for the Quran, as the scholars mentioned, is to acquire the adab and the character of the Quran. What I said, Aisha radiallahu anha, when they came to ask her, how is Rasul and his character? He said, Rasul, his character is the Quran. So, if you want to know Rasul's character, read the Quran. You'll find his character there. So, reading the Quran is not enough, but you have to have the character of the Quran. You have to follow the teachings of the Quran. We have to follow the forbiddings of the Quran. And everything that the Quran tells us to do, we do that. Anything that it forbids, we avoid it. That is the character we need to acquire, because that way you will be part of those people who are Ahlul Quran. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ahlul Quran, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Allah will pick his people in dunya, those who are Ahlul Quran, those are his family. Ahlullahi wa khasar. So, to be part of Ahlul Quran is not only to memorize it, but to acquire the character and the attitude of the Quran. Memorizing it is a blessing, But those who memorize it and do not follow the character will not have that barakah. So the character is very important. If you have the character, even without memorizing it, but you practice it daily and most part of your life, you will be part of Ahlul Quran. That's the comments of the scholars. So the last part we want to mention about the barakah of the Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Ali Imran. These two surahs also will come Yom Al-Qiyam to intercede for the person who read them. Al-Baqarah and Ali Imran. So that's another barakah. Rasulullah he said, "Iqra'u Surah Al-Baqarah, fa inna aqsaha barakah, wa tarakaha hasara, wa la tattafi'u al-batala." He said, read Surah Al-Baqarah, because coming from Surah Al-Baqarah is full of barakah. So this hadith also mentioned barakah from Surah Al-Baqarah. فَإِنَّ أَحْسَهَا barakah. What comes from the Surah Barakah is barakah. Surah Baqarah, what comes from Surah Baqarah is full of barakah. فَإِنَّ أَحْسَهَا barakah. وَتَرَكَهَا hasara. And those who memorize it is a blessing for them. And those who do not memorize it will be a regret and a great loss. So we do our utmost for this surah, because it will come specifically Yom Al-Qiyam to intercede for the person who read it in dunya, much more those who memorize it. And the last part is to get this barakah is the masajid. The masjid is full of barakah, because this is the house of Allah. As we mentioned, Khutbah, he said in our first khutbah, فَالْبَرَكَةُ كَثْرَةُ الْخَيْرِ. The barakah is where the blessing and the reward increases. So the barakah is in the masajid. Why? Because one salah will earn you 27 salah in any other place other than masajid. Like those who pray at home with the single salah, and those who come to the masjid, they have to pray 27 times. Like you pray Zuhur here, and somebody pray at home, he has to pray 27 Zuhur for him to earn your reward of one Zuhur. So that's barakah. Kathratul khair. So the masajids are full of barakah as well. So the things, those are things we can do, but things we cannot do are many, and we see that people do all the time. But this is the advice and the command of Allah and His Rasul to do only what is legislated in the masjid. But you cannot go to the masjid and pick the sign of the masjid and think that's barakah, because we know people do in many places, because they think that's barakah. Or coming to touch the wall of the masjid, no matter how beautiful it is, that's not the barakah. The barakah of the masjid is to do salah in the masjid, tilawat al-Quran, every good deed that's legislated, not the structure itself. So for the sake of time, we stop here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. Allahumma faqihna fi din wa 'allimna ta'wil. Allahumma 'allimna ma yanfa'una wanfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna 'ilma. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين وجعلنا للمتقين اماما. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة من ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. واصلح لي في ذرياتنا إني تبت إليك وإني